be friends with each other because of that mushroom. I'm going to try not to read this for youngsters here because that would make it boring. So you can all take a look at the pictures. You have this book. Did you know that this is actually your book, Noelle? It is. I got to borrow it, but you'll get it back. So one day there was a terrible rainstorm, and an ant was walking through the rain and got really concerned about all this rain coming down and wanted to find somewhere to hide. So this ant walked and walked around and found a mushroom. Now you know mushrooms are pretty low to the ground, so this is a good place for the ant to hide. And so the ant went under the mushroom, but the rain still came down harder and harder. After the ant had sit there for a little while, a butterfly came by. And the butterfly said, "Oh, Mr. Ant, my wings are all wet. I can't fly. You have to let me in. Please let me in there." But the ant said, how can you fit underneath here? I can barely fit underneath here. And the butterfly said, "Oh, but it's so wet. Please, please, just move over and let me in." And so the ant moved over, and the butterfly managed to squeeze in there. Now after that, a mouse came by. Mouse is a little bigger than a butterfly, and the mouse came up and said, "Oh, Mr. Ant, Mrs. Butterfly, I'm wet to the bone. Please help me. Let me get out of the rain underneath the mushroom with you there." And they said, "Look, we're so crowded in here. How could we fit another little animal in here with us? You're bigger than the both of us." And then the mouse begged and pleaded, and they squeezed in and managed to get the mouse in there with them too. Now next came a sparrow. And you can see the sparrow had a hard time flying in the rain, just like the butterfly. And the sparrow hopped up and said, "Oh, please, my feathers are all wet. Can you please give me some space so I can come in there with you?" And again they said, "Well, we don't know how. How can we fit in here? Fit all this in here?" But they crouched together, the ant and the butterfly and the mouse, and they let that sparrow in. Some more time went by, and the rain just kept falling, and now a bunny came by. The bunny came by, and the bunny's even bigger than all the rest of them, and the bunny said, "Oh, please let me in there. You have to hide me. A fox is coming after me." And they said, "We'd love to, but how can we fit you in here?" And they said, "Oh, please, the rabbit said, "it's very important. Let me in." And they squeezed together and let the rabbit in, and somehow they all managed to fit. And then the fox came by, running after the rabbit, but he couldn't find him. So the fox came up to the mushroom and said, "Hey, Mr. Ant, Mrs. Butterfly, and everyone else, have you seen the rabbit I'm chasing?" And they all said, "Oh, no, we haven't seen any rabbit. There's no rabbit here." And the fox sniffed and sniffed, and he said, "I smell a rabbit somewhere. Are you sure he's not in there?" And they said, "Look, we can barely fit in there ourselves. How could we fit a rabbit in here with us, too?" So the fox said, "Okay," and scampered off looking for the rabbit somewhere else. And after that, the rain started to clear and the sun came out, and it was turning into a beautiful day. And then the ant and the butterfly, the mouse and the sparrow and the rabbit, they all came out to enjoy themselves in the newfound sun. And they looked at the mushroom and said, "How could we all fit underneath that mushroom? It's so tiny." And then along came a little wisecracker named Mr. Frog, and he said, "Ha, you silly people," because of course animals are people. And he said, "Of course you could fit under the mushroom. Don't you know why you could fit under the mushroom?" But you didn't tell him. And so the ant and the butterfly and the mouse and the sparrow and the rabbit looked around and they thought, and then they figured out how they could fit underneath that mushroom. Can anyone tell me why? That's right, because mushrooms grow in the rain. They start smaller and get bigger and bigger. And so what I think the story tells us is that we find people in need and ask us for help. We might not think we're able to, but if we give it a shot and let them into our lives or our mushrooms, that life will find a way to make things grow so that we can all make it through together. Thank you, and let's now sing our children out to their religious education classes.